Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news and general chit chat and update show on the channel. Manchester United is set to put in their official bid for Rasmus Hojlund, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, and Fabrizio Romano has also confirmed that United's focus will be on Rasmus Hojlund this week, and then they will look to do two other signings after Rasmus Hojlund if they can raise the money through sales, which they look like they're going to do, and that would be Amrabat and potentially another centre-back in, with Eric Bailly set to go to Saudi Arabia, Fred potentially getting a move away to Saudi Arabia, Galatasaray or potentially Fulham, and of course players like Elanga being sold, Dean Henderson's expected to be sold, and more. So we're going to get into the news. We're going to start with the Hojlund news, then we'll get into the Amrabat news. We've got lots and lots of news coming out from lots and lots of good sources, Fabrizio Romano and Padella, on all the Hojlund news, two really reliable sources. There's PSG obviously interested in it, but it was first said by Fabrizio Romano that he understands United is set to submit their first official bid for Rasmus Hojlund, and that PSG are speaking to the player side, but United is set to bid soon. They want to avoid any hijack, and Man United have personal terms agreed with the player, so they are Rasmus Hojlund is prioritising a deal for United. So although PSG are interested in Rasmus Hojlund, the deal has to be focusing on the United Atalanta situation, because Rasmus Hojlund has picked Manchester United over Atalanta. So although PSG are interested, unless PSG are going to put in a crazy bid that's going to be 20 million more than Atalanta's, they have to focus on the United because of the verbal agreement with Hojlund. But it was also said by a very other reliable source regarding the situation, Padella. He also said that Rasmus Hojlund has told everybody his priority is Manchester United. He's not as interested in PSG. He's happy at Atalanta, but his dream is United. And we see Rasmus Hojlund going around, big Manchester United fan, liking all the Manchester United posts. And it was said, the feeling of sources is that despite PSG being in the race, the player's priority is very much said to be Manchester United. We've also been rumoured and linked to Kylian Mbappe. Now, I don't think United are going to sign Kylian Mbappe. I think Kylian Mbappe will go to Real Madrid, but Kylian Mbappe is in the thumbnail of this video because there is transfer news surrounding Kylian Mbappe from, I wouldn't say the best sources in the world, but there are reports coming in that United is set to make a bid for Kylian Mbappe. Ten Hag has told the board to make a bid for Kylian Mbappe. So we will talk about it in about 5 minutes, but it is very much take with a pinch of salt news. Believe it or not, I have a feeling we're not getting Mbappe. I don't think they'll give us Mbappe on loan. Maybe if we had Qatari owners, we could sort out a deal for Mbappe, but Mbappe is focused on Real Madrid, and Mbappe will find a way to get his way as well. Hey Alex, do you think Hojlund's desire to leave will help transfer move quicker and quite smoothly? I think so. I think Hojlund's desire to come to Manchester United, to join United and even pick us over PSG is helping move the transfer along. Atalanta wanted £85 million, but Atalanta know because the player wants the move so badly, they can't price him out of the move, and that if United did come in with 60 million euros, which is about £50 million, they would accept as a fair price. Atalanta, of course, would want to keep Rasmus Hojlund another year, and Rasmus Hojlund doesn't dislike Atalanta. He's got great relationships with them, but because Rasmus Hojlund has agreed personal terms with United and made it clear he's desperate to join United, and there's verbal agreements, there's personal terms agreed, there's principles agreed, there's so much groundwork done in this deal. It's just United putting that bid in, and whether that bid United put in will be accepted. I think United will put in a low bid, and I think if they're putting a high bid, and I think it will be accepted this week. But I think 100% the fact that Hojlund wants United is hurrying up the deal. It is now just on the United's end to get it done. The only way this doesn't happen for me is if United faff about and PSG are generally willing to bid 80 million. Because if PSG are willing to bid 80 million, we won't bid more than 60 million. They'll say you're going to PSG whether you like it or not, you're staying here to Rasmus Hojlund, and that's what they'll say to him. But that's the only way I think that it doesn't happen now, is if PSG are willing to bid a lot more than us for the player, because he has chosen United, which I think is going to help speed up the process. I think the fact that Elanga's been sold, I think the fact that Tellers has been sold, I think the fact that Bailly, Fred and Dean Henderson are set to be sold has also sped up the process, because as I said, United can't do certain deals until the sales are underway. So I think the fact that there has been a few sales has really sped up the process. But one of the really good journalists this transfer window, Alfredo Padella, been fantastic source this transfer window in terms of Anana and Italian news, has also spoken about Rasmus Hojlund and said some very similar things to Fabrizio Romano. He said that Rasmus Hojlund has asked his agents to give priority to Manchester United. It's a very important week ahead. They're just waiting for the right bid now. All they're doing now is waiting for the right bid. And as Romano said, United are ahead of PSG in the race to sign Hojlund. The clubs have already had a contractual agreement, which gives United priority the week ahead. It's important and optimistic. So you've got the two of the best sources saying this week is a big week. This week is the week of the bid. This is when the bid goes in. They understand the bid will go in. Hojlund has picked United over PSG. PSG are interested. Of course, PSG are in the race. But as Fabrizio Romano said, because United have a contractual agreement with the player, it's giving United the priority, and it will be a big week ahead. Obviously, Mbappe set to leave, and PSG actually see Rasmus Hojlund as their Mbappe replacement, and I see that as a positive. Yes, competition for PSG, but the fact that PSG are looking at Rasmus Hojlund as their Mbappe replacement, it just shows how highly Rasmus Hojlund is rated by people. I saw a 10-second clip of him play versus Man City and just sprinting and his physicality. And I tell you what, Rasmus Hojlund has got the potential to be a world beater. Like, the signing of Rasmus Hojlund for United is going to be a big, big signing. And as Duncan has put in the chat, no faffing is crucial, because if we do faff, that's when we miss out as well. And people forget he has a choice if he doesn't want to go to PSG. Look, he's chosen United over PSG, and that's the real positive as well. Craig says we're not getting Mbappe. I don't think we will get Mbappe, but I just want to cover that news. It's a story. It's not covered the best source. Alex said, I think it will come down to our deal with Hojlund falling apart for him to go elsewhere at this point. And you absolutely agree with that. I think it's spot on. And Hojlund's already going personal terms with United. United should put in a bid to avoid PSG hijack. And Romano has said that United are putting in a bid. Romano is saying the bid is going in as well. If United got Rasmus, which experienced striker could United sign? I mean, Rasmus and Harry Kane would be the perfect duo. But it's difficult. A lot of people say realistically Taremi of Porto doesn't move me massively, but it is someone that can score goals. Vlahovic doesn't move me. I think he's too lazy. And I think he's too expensive. I don't know. João Felix doesn't get many goals. I think we need someone that's a goal scorer. That's the thing. We need someone that's a goal scorer. It's almost like you needed Cavani of the 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? When we had Cavani 3 years ago, because Martial's too inconsistent. Not many names come to my head. Lewandowski would be brilliant, fantastic. There's no way Barcelona would sell him. I think he was top scorer, or one of the top scorers. A player like Kane slash Lewandowski, like, you know how we had prime. Basically, you want someone that's like a Robin van Persie in his prime, and then you want like a young Hojlund. So you've got prime Robin van Persie for like 2 years, which could be Kane, which could be Lewandowski, and then by the time they're done, Rasmus Hojlund's ready to come through. But I do think Rasmus Hojlund will be a fantastic sign for United, and I've said I do think Rasmus Hojlund will come in and he will make quite an impact for United right away. I think he will have an absolutely instant impact on the way Manchester United play. People don't understand how quick, how physical he is as well. Should be great. I was shocked with the Glazer picture when he was walking to watch the game. It's insane how much they don't care. I saw a video actually. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll go back and I'll retweet it later. I'll find it later because I don't have it saved. But basically, so some fans videoed Abraham Glazer having a chat with someone. And this was at the game yesterday, and loads of fans were walking past Abraham Glazer, were shouting at Abraham Glazer, "Sell the club, sell the club, sell the club, sell the club, sell the club." Loads of fans were shouting at Abraham Glazer yesterday, "Sell the club," and Abraham Glazer just responded by like looking at his mate and laughing, like, "Ha ha ha, stupid fans." Like, generally, I'm not even lying. The fans were telling Abraham Glazer to sell the club, and he was going to his mate, "Ha ha, stupid fans, stupid fans." You can hear the fans going, "Sell the club, please, sell the club, please." And he just doesn't care. And as we spoke about in this morning's video, Avi Glazer doesn't care. Joel Glazer doesn't care. They don't care about the fans. As it was said by Lucas today, they could not give an absolute flying X what the fans think, what the fans want. They know the fans want the club sold, but they don't care. They're going to delay this deal. They're going to do what they can do to get as much money as possible for United, which is just really frustrating as well. I can see Hojlund coming this week. I can't wrap my head around the fact that PSG had Messi and Neymar and Mbappe last season, and they might have none of them next season. Neymar was rumoured to be going to Barcelona. Does anyone know the latest on Neymar to Barcelona? Like, apparently it was going to happen, and now it's not happening, and then it is happening. Does anyone actually know what's going on with Neymar and Barcelona? But Messi's obviously gone. They're trying to kick Mbappe out, and obviously they need to rebuild their attack, and they are looking at young players like Rasmus Hojlund. PSG have kind of learned the hard way. PSG would sign the big names. They sign the big superstars, the players coming towards the end of their career, and they've looked at United, and they've looked at City, and they've looked at these Premier League clubs and gone, actually, the Premier League clubs, the clubs that are the most successful, are signing the young talents. They're building up a team of players. They're not signing individual brilliance. Where Man United went wrong under Ed Woodward is Man United spent £1.4 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson's left. But how many times are we going for big name players, 100 million players, already established players on crazy high wages coming towards the end of their career, potentially in positions we don't need, instead of actually focusing on what we need? And this is one of the first summers in a while where I believe United are actually focusing on what they need. United are going, you know what, we need someone to do the Eriksen role with more energy. Mason Mount can do that. We need a striker. Rasmus Hojlund could do that because we cannot get Kane. We need a goalkeeper that's capable of playing out from the back. Onana can do that. We need Casemiro cover. We can do that. You know, if Ed Woodward was in charge right now, United would have signed no one and would be willing to spend their whole transfer budget on Mbappe and keep David De Gea and keep Christian Eriksen. And at the end of the day, if Man United sign Mbappe and then let's say they go and sign Mason Mount and Mbappe this summer, actually that's not great. That's not great if we just sign Mason Mount and Mbappe. If you sign Hojlund, Mason Mount, Onana and Amrabat, that is actually a better chance of winning. People will call me crazy, but we've seen in the past buying these big players, buying these big individually brilliant players don't always help a team. You've got to build a team of young, hungry players, a mixture of experienced players, players in their prime, players that have the ability and traits to play the way that you want to play. Building a team is not about bringing in the best players. It's about bringing in players with the capability, the mentality, and the attitude to play the way that you want to play. And Rasmus Hojlund has the ability to press. He's got the energy to press like Ten Hag wants from a striker. He makes those runs. He's got the speed. He's got the physicality at such a young age. He can score goals. He's got the positional sense. He can provide a focal point. Rasmus Hojlund ticks all these boxes despite not being ready. He's like Rooney. He's like Ronaldo. He could come to United, develop and become a world beater. And that is the United way. And that's what Ten Hag wants to do with Rasmus Hojlund. Mason Mount is a young 24-year-old hungry player who did have a poor season. Well, was Chelsea's player of the season 2 seasons before that. He will cover so much ground. We saw in the Arsenal game, actually, Mason Mount off the ball has got a really important role in actually connecting the defence to the midfield. And what he's doing, I think, has been really underrated. You look at the addition of Onana, that's going to completely change the whole way that Manchester United play. You look at Amrabat, that's going to provide some much needed Casemiro backup. And, in the past, United would be signing, instead of those 4 players, which, stand out. Oh, those 4 signings, none of them are world-class, world-beater signings, but they're actually 4 signings that when you analyse it, the impact they're going to have just from coming into the club, the way we play, the way they're going to allow us to play the Ten Hag way, it's going to be massive. We're going to play as a team. In the past, fans would be wanting us to sign big-name players. They'd be saying, I want you to go and get Mbappe, and I want you to go and get, I don't know, someone that's big for sale, like just like Bellingham. I'm not gonna be honest. I'll be honest, and people call me crazy. If Man United signed Mbappe and Bellingham this summer, just Mbappe and Bellingham this summer, or they signed Onana, Hojlund, Mount, and Amrabat, I think Onana, Hojlund, Mount, and Amrabat would improve us more as a team. And people will laugh at me, go, "No, Alice knows nothing. Stupid woman, get to the kitchen." That's what I would be thinking. But, Bellingham wasn't what United needed. He wasn't that fit of player. Bellingham's a fantastic player, could be molded into that player, but I don't think Mason Mount was 100% what we needed, to be honest. But as good as Bellingham was, he's not someone that I'm like, that is the perfect signing. Frankie de Jong's got it. Frankie de Jong would be. Enzo Fernandez would be. And Moises Caicedo would be. I thought they were the 3 midfielders that the perfect signing, not Bellingham. As good as Mbappe is, and Mbappe is better than Hojlund, and let's be honest, if I had a chance to trade Hojlund for Mbappe, I would. If you got Mbappe and you got Bellingham, you couldn't get a goalkeeper. And you couldn't get that Casemiro back up. Do you know what I mean? I actually think the way football's moving, you can see PSG are moving away from this Mbappe, Neymar, Messi thing and want to go for the Hojlunds. And you look at how Man City have built their squad. They haven't really gone for many big name players other than Erling Haaland, who was the final piece of the puzzle, brought them the bloody treble. I think that is the way football's going on. People might laugh at that opinion. People might say I'm crazy. I think that Bellingham and Mbappe are world beaters, but I think it's not about just bringing in the best and most individual name for each position. It's actually about what's best for the team. If you've got 200 million to spend, do you want to spend it on 4 players or 2 players? If we're in a year's time, Mbappe and Bellingham would be brilliant. We're in the 2nd year of the rebuild, so when you're in the 2nd year of the rebuild, there's about 5 positions that need to be addressed. We need a centre back, we need a goalkeeper, we need a DM, we need a centre mid, and we need a striker. We need to address 5 positions. If we're in the 3rd year of the rebuild, where we've been really close to winning the league, we're only 2 points off winning the league or got to the Champions League final, but we just need that big name signing. Then you get your Mbappes, then you get your Bellinghams. They're the final piece of the puzzle signings. So you can get big name signings. Don't want to be taken out of context, but I always think those small signings are underrated them, and people might think I'm crazy as well. But yeah, look, is Mbappe joining United? But we're going to get into this story. What is my connection like? Because apparently my Wi-Fi has been absolutely shocking all day. But I do want to get into the Mbappe story because we are linked to Mbappe. I don't think it will happen as well. I'm just going to scroll down the chat as well. So please do smash that like button. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new. We get rumoured to players that say they want to come to United, and it feels like Hojlund has been the most adamant about wanting to do so, and credit to him for being so honest to his extent. Yeah, he's had offers from other clubs. He's only wanted United. He's followed United on Instagram. He's always liking up United on Instagram. Rasmus Hojlund seems to be a big United fan as well. United might have buy for £20 million. I think that was misinfoed. I think the deal in total, including the wages, would be £20 million for Bailly across a 3-year contract. But we will get into the Eric Bailly story. Also, the Fred story. We're getting an £8 million bid for Fred when we should be getting £20 million for Fred as well. Barca's finances leave any high-profile moves unlikely for them, so I don't think Neymar is happening as well. PSG wanted Ronaldo. Yeah, PSG wanted everyone. And as Paul says, guys, please do keep smashing the like button. It really helps the channel as well. And building a team is about creating chemistry and great synergy. I agree with that as well. David said, Onana playing Ten Hag ball the way Heaton accidentally set up Mano last night. Going to be lots of that, but not on accident. I have to say, guys, smash that like button for Kobbie Mainoo. Smash that like button for Kobbie Mainoo. He was fantastic. Big up Alice. Hojlund will fit nicely into our team. No big names needed. Spot on team ethic over stars. Big up as well. Plus, we have kids on the rise. Garnacho already there. Mainoo, hopefully the next one, and need to continue the development. Exactly. I tell you what, Garnacho was the player to break through last year. Mainoo could be the player to break through this year. And I tell you what, I think he's probably 2 seasons away because he's only 16. But Shia Lacey, I reckon 2025, 2026, Shia Lacey is one to watch. There's something about him as well. We've got some real talents in the academy. Keep smashing the likes buttons, people. Let's see if we can get over 700 people in the live. Do subscribe if you're new as well. And Mainoo boss Declan Rice. Like, I'm sorry, Mainoo, Declan Rice who? Kobbie Mainoo. That is the guy. 105 million. What? Kobbie Mainoo. That. Kobbie Mainoo. Why am I saying Kobbie? Do you know what? I call him Kobbie Mainoo and I call him Kobbie Mainoo. I can't consistently say his name right. Kobbie Mainoo. But people call him Kobbie, so I keep trying to call him Kobbie. It is Kobbie because his brother said it's Kobbie. But everyone calls him Kobbie, so I keep naturally calling him Kobbie. But he's fantastic. His temperament, the fact. Do you know what? I'm going to say something about Kobbie Mainoo quickly. And I'm going to go a bit off topic. I do want to get into the Mbappe story, and I do want to get into lots of bits and pieces as well. But I'll tell you something about Kobbie. Casemiro is fantastic. Casemiro is brilliant. Casemiro is one of the best DMs in the world, and I am so happy we got Casemiro. But where Casemiro lacks, and if we're being really picky, if we're looking to get the perfect team, where Casemiro lacks is actually potentially those passing. He's good passer, but where Casemiro potentially lacks is getting the ball to Mount and Bruno. Potentially breaking lines. Now, Kobbie Mainoo actually doing the Casemiro role, and I don't think Kobbie Mainoo will ever be defensively as good as Casemiro and provide the defensive protection Casemiro can. But Kobbie Mainoo in the Casemiro role, what I really liked about it is I think he's got the technical and the passing ability to become almost the perfect CDM for Ten Hag in years to come. He's a deep-lying playmaker. I don't know if he's a player that would ever hold on his own. He's more De Jong-esque. But I have to say, what Casemiro's weaknesses is sometimes not getting the ball and doing those line-breaking passes to Mount and Bruno that we saw from Kobbie Mainoo. And I actually thought he worked really well. And I do think that Ten Hag will want Kobbie Mainoo to learn from Casemiro defensively. But I do think, the way I see it is it's very obviously going to be Casemiro, probably Amrabat's cover for the season in midfield 100%. But I do think in years to come, I think Ten Hag sees Kobbie Mainoo as that guy potentially coming through because he's an absolutely fantastic talent. And, 3 games in pre-season, good in all 3 games. Arsenal fans are saying it's only a friendly. Why are United getting so hyped up? I'm sorry, Arsenal, you played your strongest squad bar maybe 1 or 2 players, but you had literally your strongest midfield and Kobbie Mainoo bossed you. I have to say Arsenal's midfield lacks balance. They should be playing Partey and not Havertz. Havertz is looking like a flop for Arsenal already, but it's only pre-season. We can't judge. Danny B says Amrabat's going to be better signing than Rice if we get him at only a fraction of the cost. I tell you what, I love Declan Rice. I'm a massive fan of Declan Rice, but Arsenal aren't using him right. I mean, it's only pre-season. Arsenal aren't using him right. He doesn't got the ability to hold while Odegaard and Havertz play ahead. He needs to play with Thomas Partey. But Kobbie Mainoo absolutely scored Declan Rice as well. Arsenal fans fighting each other at pre-season friendly small club. How embarrassing is that? Fighting at a friendly match. I thought it was so embarrassing. Sancho's going to have a great season. I can tell you what, we'll talk about the Ahmad injury in a second. It shouldn't be bad, reportedly. But I have to say, people calling Sancho fat on social media, people slagging off Jadon Sancho a lot on social media lately. They're going, oh, yeah, no, Sancho, it's over for Sancho. How fresh does Sancho look? How good does Sancho look? Sancho looked like he gained an extra yard of pace. Sancho was absolutely fantastic and on it yesterday, and I'm really happy for it because this is Sancho's make or break season at United. This is, you've got to show yourself now. And I think Sancho's a confidence player. I think he's a momentum player. I think he could easily push Anthony out on that right-hand side of it. I think Anthony's too inconsistent, while Sancho's been inconsistent. But if Sancho can get the confidence, if Sancho can get the run of form, we saw Sancho towards the end of last season looking good. Very creative player as well. I think with getting a striker in like Rasmus Hojlund would only make Sancho better, because Sancho would have the striker to interlink with, the striker to create space for him, a focal point to cross into. I want to see Sancho on the right, I want to see Hojlund up front, and I want to see Rashford on the left wing next season, with Bruno and Mount behind, with Casemiro holding, and then of course the back four that we have. I do hope that we don't sign Disasi and we do go for Todibo, the younger centre-back. I think that he will be better, because I actually don't think Disasi is an improvement on Harry Maguire. And I have to say, maybe it's just my opinion, but Maguire will be a better player without the armband on. The Maguire mentally can't cope with playing for a side like United. Take the armband off Maguire. I like that Casemiro was captain in the second half and not Maguire. I think we'll see a more calm Maguire. I think we'll see the better side of Harry Maguire as well. But Ahmad's injury is not too bad. But what was said on Kylian Mbappe, people? So this was said by Footy Insider. So I'll be honest, this is like a tier 3 source. So take it with a pinch of salt. But some people tagged me in it. Some people asked me about it. We're going to talk about it because Mbappe will be linked to United a lot over the coming weeks. He will be going to Real Madrid. But United's name will be used in Mbappe links to generate more clicks from clickbait journalists. Essentially is what I believe will happen. But it said PSG move for Kylian Mbappe thing, as PSG know Ten Hag will bid for superstar striker. Kylian Mbappe in pre-season, blah, blah, blah. Kylian Mbappe is not going on pre-season, blah, 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 blah. They're saying basically Mbappe set to leave Real Madrid because his contract set to leave PSG because his contract's up, and PSG want to sell him. They're not taking him on shore. PSG put him up for sale, and it was basically said here that United will move for Mbappe. Apparently, is a sure thing. Indeed, Spanish outlet Marca reports that PSG know the Red Devils will bid for Mbappe. So basically, Marca is saying that PSG have been informed that United will bid for Mbappe. Apparently, Manchester United are 100% bidding for Kylian Mbappe, and that Ten Hag has told United to put a bid for Kylian Mbappe. Guys, if we don't have the money to make a bid for Kylian Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe wants to go to Real Madrid. I don't think Man United are putting in a bid for Kylian Mbappe. I think that PSG are trying to use someone like United to scare Real Madrid into making a bid. Because at the end of the day, PSG have no power, and that's why they're not taking Mbappe at all. That's why they're giving Mbappe, you better leave now. Because PSG don't want to lose him on a free. Because at the end of the day, Real Madrid know Mbappe wants Real Madrid and only Real Madrid, and he would run down his contract to go to Real Madrid next year. Real Madrid aren't stressing. They'll be linking United, they'll be linking Liverpool, they'll be linking Man City. Now, if you want to scare Real Madrid, potentially Man City, because they do have the money, and they do need to replace Mahrez. But I think, people, reports, just linking United to PSG. Oh, see if this could scare Real Madrid into doing something. I'd be absolutely shocked to be putting a bid for Mbappe. Apparently, Ten Hag's told the board you must put a bid in for Mbappe, and United have told PSG they will put a bid for Mbappe. The only way I see us putting a bid for Mbappe is if Tottenham went and paid 50 million for Jadon Sancho and potentially we had the funds to do something crazy. But for me, I'll be honest, Kylian Mbappe to United, I don't think it's going to happen as well. Guys, do smash the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Fred could go for less than 15 million, which I think would be a joke as well. Buy reportedly to go to Saudi Arabia for 20 million, but that was bad journalism. It's a 20 million offer for buy, so 20 million in wages across 3 seasons, not a 20 million bid. The bid would be reported about 6 million because Bailly's only got 1 year left on his contract. 20 million for Eric Bailly would have been a dream, but reportedly that is not the case as well. Smash the like button for Kobbie Mainoo, guys. A lot of people talking about Ivan Toney. He's a great player, Ivan Toney, but I'm not interested in talking about him because of the ban. He's not going to be able to play for a while. So that's kind of ruined my interest in Ivan Toney as well. 3 pre-season wins with no goals conceded. A lot going good. Exactly. Have to say, I'm in a really positive mood and vibe around United. I've been really happy with what I've seen from Manchester United. I'm really excited for next season. I don't know if you guys are. I'm super excited for next season. I absolutely can't wait. So much positivity around Man United, not just beating Arsenal, but I think we look good. I think we're looking great at the moment. I'm really enjoying watching United. I think the signings we're getting are going to be brilliant. I think we're going to play great football next season. I'm actually the most excited I am going into a season for a while. And I was so negative a month ago, like Arsenal signing this player, Chelsea signing this player. We're faffing about maybe getting a deal for Mason Mount done. I'll be honest, I was really negative the whole of June about United, but now that pre-season's got back, now that I'm looking at actually we are going to get 4 good signings in, and when I've actually studied these signings and seen the impact they're going to have on Ten Hag and the way we play and why Ten Hag wants these players, I feel really positive around United and potential business we're going to do. I'm really excited for next season. Guys, we've got 101 likes. Let's go for 300 likes before the end of the live stream. We've got over 600 people watching, so if you've not hit that like button, please do as well. Can we afford to take a chance on Mainoo and not get Amrabat? Kobbie is making me wonder what we could say 25 million. The best teams have more options. You've got to think if we get rid of Fred and McTominay, we'll want Kobbie and Amrabat as their replacements. Hopefully we get rid of McTominay. I think McTominay needs to be sold. as well. And who needs Casado when you've got Kobbie coming through? Let him mature under Casemiro. You never know. You never know. You never know. Could be a blessing in disguise getting Mount, because Kobbie could come through as potentially a Casemiro-like player. I think Kobbie, for me, is mostly more Pogba-esque, Pogba De Jong kind of esque, with the mix of the two. But you know, he's playing the Casemiro role brilliantly. But I don't think long term he'll do that role as well. So yeah, please do smash the like button as well. Gore in a few years will be good. And yeah, Ibrahimov, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I spoke about him in a live stream not that long ago. He's looked really good as well. Maino is a local lad with no fear who wants to succeed. Will be vital for him around the first team this season, help us collect more silverware. And the fact that he's going to be learning from Ten Hag, who rates him so highly, that he's giving Ten Hag giving him roles to study, and Casemiro, I think Maino's got a high ceiling. Like, I was talking about Kobbie Mainoo on this channel 2 years ago. Like, generally, if you followed my channel, I was talking about this guy 2 years ago when we won the Youth Cup, a year and a half ago when we won the Youth Cup. I said the best player in the Youth Cup has been Garnacho and Mainoo. I said that. You can go back, you can watch me back in early 2022. I was talking about Garnacho and Mainoo. And this was before Garnacho came through, and this was before Mainoo was even getting chances. I said from watching the academy, there was Garnacho, there was Mainoo. We spoke about Gore being an exciting player, Hansen being an exciting player, but I've always been speaking about Kobbie and Alejandro Garnacho. I've also been a big fan of Girardo, and I've also been a big fan of Alvaro Fernandez. But, you know, they are special players, and I think he's got a very high ceiling. I'm going to scroll down because I am quite behind on the live chat people as well. We just put Mbappe in the thumbnail because, for the sake of actually, we were just reading a story about Kylian Mbappe. Do I think United signing Mbappe? Absolutely not. But yeah, now I want to speak to you guys. Because I just realised I haven't really addressed what the title of the video is. 3 new signings for Manchester United. Because basically I want to get into what Fabrizio Romano said. But Fabrizio Romano said that United will focus on getting a done deal for Hojlund, then hopefully move for 2 more signings. So we want to get into that in a sec. But as said here, and I saw this, and this is why I'm so positive, a known amount of Hojlund and Amrabat in, with Elanga, Henderson, Bailly, Maguire, Fred, Van der Beek, and a few of the youngsters leaving, that would be a seriously good summer. I don't know if Maguire will leave, but I think these other players will leave. You've also got to include that Tellez is left in this list. I actually want to look at this, and I have to say, you know what? The business we're doing, the way the summer's going, I do think this has been a good summer for United as well. Until we get new owners, we couldn't even afford Mbappe. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't think there's anything in this Mbappe news as well. And great news from Ahmad saying he'll be back soon. It's not a serious injury. So yeah, Ahmad should be back soon, which would be brilliant for United as well. But I want to get into the transfer news because I think, you know, what United's doing really exciting, and there could potentially be one more signing after this. And this is because Fabrizio Romano has spoken about Manchester United potentially looking to do 3 kind of signings. And Fabrizio Romano has actually came out and said that Manchester United will focus on the potential new midfielder and centre-back after signing Rasmus Hojlund. Romano has said United's plan is to sign Rasmus Hojlund and then go for 2 more signings, which would be a new midfielder and centre-back. Other sources are saying, actually, if Maguire stays, it will be a new midfielder and a left winger. But essentially, all the sources are saying United want Hojlund, United want Amrabat, and United will do 1 more deal depending on the sales. Could be an attacker, could be someone that can play left wing, could be a centre-back. But I think that's really exciting that, you know, we sign Mount, we sign Onana, but United's actually goal is to get 3 more signings in. Whether we'll get 3 more signings in, I think that really depends on actually, do we sell Dean Henderson? Do we sell Maguire? Do we sell Fred? Fred will leave according to Romano. Elanga's going to leave. Dean Henderson's going to leave. Bailly's going to leave. Tellez is going to leave. But I think for us to get that final signing in, it's you making sure you get rid of either Martial, Maguire, or McTominay, because that's going to save you a lot of money because of the wages. And Maguire and McTominay could definitely bring in some cash. I think, you know, centre back's situation is dependent on Maguire. I think the striker situation is dependent on how much money we raise through sales. But Romano said Hojlund will be the next deal, and then United will look to do 2 more deals, which will be a new midfielder and centre-back. And I have to say, the reason I'm being so positive is because the 5 areas we needed to address was striker, the centre midfield, CDM, centre-back and goalkeeper. And they are the 5 areas that we seem to be addressing right now. And although the striker, Rasmus Hojlund, as much as I love him, as much as I've been praising him, isn't quite Harry Kane level ready, the fact that United, we picked out 5 weaknesses, and the United seem to be addressing all 5 of those weaknesses in the chain transfer window, as well as getting rid of quite a few players in Deadwood. Hopefully Saudi Arabia can take some more players. For me, will be one of the best transfer windows United done in a while, because I'm trying to be positive. Yes, it's not the perfect transfer window. Yes, there was players I personally preferred that we didn't sign them. We've left stuff to July. But if we actually do get Hojlund and Amrabat in August for the start of the season, and actually have them in the lineup for the start of the season, I'm happy with that. You've got to consider the fact that we're in the midst of the takeover. There's financial constraints at United. United are working with limited resources, very, very not secure thoughts by the Glazers, and the fact that United could potentially be doing some good business, getting some good signings in. I'm trying to be really positive. I think actually this could be a really good transfer window when you actually analyse the situation and go, look, the 120 million set budget to address 5 positions, the money we make throughout, we could be able to get 5 players for maybe £150 million net budget, and 5 players that will have a massive impact on the way we play and massively improve 10 off 150 million net budget. When you actually analyse that, you look at the constraints, you look at how the Glazers have played this window out in uncertainty and who our rivals have been signing. I actually thought, you know what, we're in a fantastic position. We're not a team that's being stupid, spending 65 million on Kai Havertz, as well. Mount's number 10, Mount's number 8 for me. But yeah, I think so far the window's about 6 out of 10. But you get Amrabat, you get Amrabat and Hojlund in, you get a few players out. It goes definitely to an 8 out of 10 window, considering the constraints as well. Going into the season, I don't see centre back as a major priority for Victor and Lucas Cover, but not loving those that we're linked to. I agree. I think at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of Sassy, not a big fan that we're linked to. The only thing is, the reason I want a centre back if Maguire leaves is because I like Luke Shaw at left back. Luke Shaw can play centre back if need be. I do like Malacia, I do like Fernandez, but if there's one injury to Varane, you're Lissandro Martins and Lindelof for the rest of the season. If there's one big injury, I don't think you just need that other centre back in there for protection. Personally, is why I think if Maguire goes, we get a centre back. If Maguire stays, I don't think there's any point signing a centre back. And I'll be honest, I think Maguire needs to go, and I think if United are going to get anything above 30 million for Harry Maguire, they've got to cash in on that. 100%. But in all honesty to you, there's a lot of the centre backs we're linked to. I don't really think an improvement on Maguire, and I think Maguire should go, and I hope you get £30 million from Maguire, but I'm not that fussed about Maguire staying. When I say that, I mean, look, if Maguire goes, means we've got the funds to bring in a brilliant centre back or bring in more signings, perfect. But if Maguire goes, just means we're going to get Disassi in, or if Maguire stays, we don't sign a centre back in Disassi. I'd probably rather Maguire stay, in the sense of, I think Maguire as a 4th choice centre back is a good option to have, just not on his wages. He doesn't have the wage of a 4th choice centre back. And people will call me crazy, and people will be like, what do you mean? You really want to keep Maguire? No, I don't want to keep Maguire. I want Maguire sold. But I'm saying if no one gives us a bid in the region of a certain price for Maguire, and us keeping Maguire is not going to affect us getting Amrabat and Hojlund, you might as well keep Maguire around as your 4th choice centre back, and then next season you get the centre back and right back that you need, and then maybe you get another attacker in. I think for me, this is Hojlund, Amrabat, potentially another deal on the horizon, depending on outs. But next summer will be the right back, the centre back, and I think that big winger. Just because I think our wingers, I love Sancho and I love Anthony. I think there's great potential in them. I think there's great potential in Garnacho. Rashford's fantastic, but inconsistent. I think Palestri's got a player in there. I think Ahmad's got a player in there. Although I love our wing options, they're not consistent enough. They're not guaranteed going to be great. So I think for me, yeah, winger would probably be something looking at next season as well. Takeover journalists have provided a bit of an update on the Man United takeover. Journalists are coming out basically saying that the update from the Glazers on the takeover is the Glazers haven't made their mind up. There is an update on the takeover today, and that is that the Glazers have not made their mind up. They're not making their mind up as well. Did you know, interesting thing there as well? But Elise is up for sale reportedly. I think he's got an injury. I think I spoke about Elise for a good year and a half. I think Elise is a fantastic player. Big fan of him, Crystal Palace winger. Now, apparently Chelsea and Man City are putting a bid for Elise. But could United do something for Elise? I'd love us to, but we've signed Anthony, so I think it's unlikely. But I think Elise has, been linked to Chelsea and City. I have to say it. Elise is the perfect replacement for Mahrez. That's what bugs me. Elise is the perfect replacement for Mahrez. Yeah. Guys, keep smashing the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Share the video as well. Just a live show catching up on all the news. I want to get into the Amrabat news. There is a lot of news on Amrabat, and then I want to get into the news on sales. News actually coming out that Ten Hag wants to keep Wan-Bissaka at the club, but Ten Hag would be open to selling Delo. But that has come out from not the best source in the world, so definitely a take of a pinch of salt report. But what else? I'm going to get the news up here. What else has Fabrizio Romano been saying about United, about the transfer window, about our plans? Fabrizio Romano has come out and said Rasmus Hojlund is Manchester United's top priority. A midfielder deal will be discussed right after completion, with Fred also expected to leave. So after Hojlund is completed, the midfielder is the priority and Fred is expected to leave, confirmed by Romano. That is news that we're already aware of. That is news that we already know. But it was also said that Manchester United like Amrabat and want to negotiate for him. Florentina would want about 30 to 35 million pounds for Amrabat, which 2 weeks ago it was 20 to 25 million pounds. All United go and let's inflate the price by 10 million. But it was also said United will focus on the potential new midfield for midfielder and centre back after Hojlund. So again, Romano has confirmed United want to do 3 more deals this summer: Hojlund, Amrabat, and then potentially a new centre back. But it will depend on the outs. But they're saying now 30 to 35 million pounds for Amrabat. I think 25 million pounds. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Take it or leave it. That is United tax. That is all we know. United's going in for the player, so we're going to inflate his price. That is what they're doing as well. So there are reports and rumours coming out that Saudi Arabia want Martial, but it's not coming out from the most reliable sources. So I don't know if it's not like unreliable sources. It's just sources I'm not familiar with. So it's either Martial to Saudi Arabia is going to be a story coming about in the next couple of days, weeks or so, or the story is capped. I have to wait and see what sources I'm aware of say on that situation as well. I'm not judging the window on paper. I want to see each one of them do bits in the Premier League week in, week out, and that is probably the fairest way to judge the window. Should have gone all in for Kim Min-jae and let Maguire know you ain't wanted or needed. We should have done that at the start of the window, but we didn't as well. And Maino will be a regular on the right. Where does Sancho fit in? Maino's not a right winger. I don't know what you're on about, mate. Maino playing is not going to affect Sancho's game time as well. Alice, who would you sign for left winger? I don't know, I don't know. It's a difficult one because I'm trying to think actually with a realistic price tag. I'd love someone like Kvaratskhelia. But you got to think realistic. I'd like Gakpo still. I know he's at Liverpool. I'd take Neymar on loan, can't lie to you. Coleman we've been linked to a little bit. If I was in Dreamland, it'd be Kvaratskhelia because he could play left and right wing. I think he's Napoli winger. I think he's fantastic. But realistically, there's not many left wing options out there that really stick out to me that I'm like, yeah, that's someone that we need to help left wing. João Felix can do a job there on loan. I mean, I would probably go for Neymar on loan, which I know injury record, big wages, but we're wanting someone. We've got Rashford, we've got Garnacho there. It's just because Rashford will play striker a bit more because Hojlund's not established. I'd probably say Neymar on loan, which people will disagree with me. I'm just trying to think realistic. Neymar on loan, I actually do think is somewhat realistic. It's a very United deal to do. Unfortunately, it's something that United would do, and then the Glazers would announce they're staying, and we're like, hey, look, we brought in Neymar. Oh, Ronaldo and Neymar play for United. Oh. But I mean, Mbappe would be brilliant to put on the left wing, eh? That'll be absolutely brilliant. But no, Kvaratskhelia is what I would do, but I don't think that's possible, and I think that would cost about 70 million. But he's been fantastic at Napoli. Frankie de Jong news, he's not coming to United. He's staying at Barcelona. City were linked to him, but I think he's staying at Barcelona as well. Let's not forget, got Johnny Evans for the year. Potentially, he's not actually signed a long-term contract. United are weighing up whether to keep him around or not as well. I'd like us to get a top attacking right back to complement Anthony. I do think if we get a right back that actually is good at overlapping and does that as well. Yeah, I think, that would bring the best out of Anthony. I actually don't think Wan-Bissaka and Dalot bring the best out of Anthony. They don't overlap, which is what Ten Hag's fullbacks used to do at Ajax. But I don't think it's that deep of an issue, to be honest. I just think that we'd obviously see a better Anthony if that was the case. But it's not the end of the world there, really, is it? Please do smash the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Silva from Benfica or Inigo from Sporting to replace Maguire in January. Silva from Benfica, because I watch more Benfica. He is one to watch as well, but that would be expensive as well. If we can keep Maguire for this long, why wait on Sancho? We ain't getting anywhere near what we paid for him. He can't do any worse than last season. Yeah, true. Good point there. I mean, I'm more than happy to keep Sancho for another season. I think there's a big season coming up for Jadon Sancho. You know me. I'm a big fan of Jadon Sancho. I admire Jadon Sancho highly. I do think there's a big season coming up for Jadon Sancho. So I'm always open to the idea of keeping for another season to prove himself. I think if you get a bid in the £60 million mark to Jadon Sancho and you paid 70 million for him, you can't say no to that. But I think if your people are only bidding 30 million, you might as well keep him for another season because he could definitely inflate his price up as well. But yeah, Alex says if Maguire stays as a bit part, another season will be worth less than those wages are problematic for this choice, which is true, which I think is why from a financial sense it makes so much sense to go. Amrabat needed another. Qatar's new owners, and we need Qatar. I'll tell you what as well. And who would you sign left winger? I answered that one, didn't I, as well? And Alice, I don't care. Maguire's too slow and will totally screw up only players playing out from the goalkeeper and sort of high defensive line. I think Maguire will look better with Onana, but that's just my opinion. I just think if we're looking at a 4th-5th choice centre back, it's not bad, is he? He's not good enough to play week in, week out, but I don't think he's as bad as people think. He can do a job for England. But for me, it just depends on who's replacing Maguire. For me, get Maguire out, get Kim and James is what we should have done bang at the start of the window, but we didn't. Disasi doesn't move me. It doesn't move me as well. Wan-Bissaka not good enough. Wan-Bissaka is someone that's not right back's not an urgent priority, but I think now we're addressing the striker situation. We've addressed the goalkeeper. We've addressed the Eriksen situation. I think the right back will emerge as a weak spot this season. I really do. I like Wan-Bissaka. I rate him, but I think right back will emerge as a weak spot this season because we seem to be addressing the other weak spots, and I think right back will be something to do for next season, someone that could potentially overlap with Anthony as well. Hopefully Amrabat should be about £25 million. I think they're just inflating the price because United obviously in for Amrabat as well. Do we need a left winger? Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho? I think it's just because basically Rashford will play striker a lot more, who is our predominant left winger. And while Garnacho and Sancho is good, Ten Hag wants that competition because they're not obviously Sancho is inconsistent and Garnacho is very young. That's reportedly why. As Daniel has said, guys, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, what are you doing? Please do subscribe down below. And of course, go check out my second channel, ECILA Media, as well. We will be covering some stuff on there. I might talk about the Elise to Chelsea and City news in a video today or tomorrow. I might do a bit of Women's World Cup content on there. I've not followed much of the Women's World Cup so far, bar the England game, but I think once the World Cup gets going and gets exciting, I might do a bit of women's football content on the second channel as well. So do subscribe to the second channel. Big up Daniel in the chat as well. And Rashford and Garnacho don't really need left wing. Our lack of 9 depth will move Rashford centre at times. The thing is, I'm with you. At the end of the day, if we're signing Hojlund and we're going to sign another attacker, I'd sign someone that could play striker because I think Rashford is a left winger, not a striker. It looks like we want to sign Hojlund and potentially a versatile forward. I'd rather sign Hojlund than maybe a temporary striker for a season that can score goals if something happens to Hojlund than get a winger in, because I think you've got Rashford and Garnacho for left wing. And while Rashford's been decent at striker, I think that he is better at left wing as well. Best left wing option obviously would be Mbappe as well. Maino plays the Casemiro position as well. No point another left winger, get a striker, says United Red as well. Big up everybody in chat as well. Hojlund to United is very, very close. Get Hojlund and Muani. I think Muani is just the Hojlund alternative. United actually have had talks with Muani, but I think that's just to keep that open in case something went wrong with Hojlund. We went to the Chisea. He's kind of dropped off a bit. He's a player I'd wanted a few seasons ago, but dropped off a bit. We're on 222 likes, guys. Let's go for 300 likes. We've got over 600 people watching, so only half of you need to hit the like button to reach the target. So please do that if you haven't already. We're not going to get right back this summer. I thought we were going to get Frimpong. And I said a lot that I think I was confident we're going to get Frimpong in the summer, and then Wan-Bissaka was good, and then that just didn't happen as well. And I'm glad that Wan-Bissaka was good because I think that just gives us more money to focus elsewhere and not have to spend 30 million on Frimpong as well, which was a risk. But Frimpong and Todibo maybe next season could be options as well. 160 million, you could get Kane and Hojlund, but I don't think we're going to be able to get Kane. United want Kane. Ten Hag wanted Kane more than Hojlund. Ten Hag's number one priority was Harry Kane. Ten Hag absolutely loves Harry Kane. Ten Hag wanted Kane more than he wanted Hojlund. But Ten Hag came to the realization he was not going to get Kane. Kane was going to be so difficult to do, which is why United have jumped on and latched onto the idea of signing Rasmus Hojlund. Because I tell you this now, Ten Hag, yeah, he absolutely loves Harry Kane. Ten Hag is a big Harry Kane admirer. Harry Kane was Ten Hag's dream signing, but Ten Hag looked at the situation and went, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get Harry Kane as well. Do you rate Suzuki? I confess I don't know much about him. I know nothing about him. I just watched a clip of him and he looks decent. In proper Eric Ten Hag, Maguire will always be a liability. He needs to go somewhere he can play. They play more negatively, I agree. And Amrabat reportedly 25 million euros, but now 30 million pounds. I just think it's Man United coming in inflation as well. Alice Boston on both channels. Big up Alice. Big up Daniel in the chat for the support over the last few years. And we are broke and can't sell players. We won't get Kane, let alone the laughable thought of Mbappe. And I agree. I agree to an extent. I think there's a chance we could get Kane if Daniel Levy wasn't Daniel Levy, but Daniel Levy is Daniel Levy. But Mbappe, as I said, it's just a rumour. And I said to you guys, I'll report on the news, of course, but I said that I don't think we're getting Mbappe. PSG after Muani now. PSG seem to be after everyone we're after. We're linked to Gonzalo Ramos, PSG want Ramos. We're linked to Muani, PSG want Muani. We're going in for Hojlund, PSG want Hojlund. PSG need to sign a load of attackers because they've got a few. Santiago Gimenez for a strike option. We were linked to him. And Orkun Koku, remember? We were linked to them early as well. And Wan-Bissaka was on fire yesterday. Wan-Bissaka had a good game as well. I'm happy with Wan-Bissaka. I have to say, anyone else noticed this? Varane's passing's gone up a level. And I don't know if that was just me, But, you know, a few people were criticising Varane's passing on Twitter last week, and it's like Varane's read that and took that personally. Varane, all of a sudden, been passing fantastically. Real's a top passer now. Bayern have offered Kane a 5-year contract, not getting Kane shifted our entire window, hence allocating part of those funds for goalkeeper. You know what? Not getting Kane could be a blessing in disguise because it's maybe allowed us to get the likes of Onana and Amrabat with the money we save. And you never know, Hojlund, if Hojlund lives up to his potential, Rasmus Hojlund people will be the absolute real deal. Yeah. Look, people, I am going to wrap up today's live stream in a second, so please do smash that like button, subscribe down below. I'm just going to make sure there's no more news coming in, but I have to say I was really impressed with United versus Arsenal. I only really watched the first half, but look, I have to say Varane's passing was excellent. Sandro Martinez was fantastic. Luke Shaw did look to be getting a bit cooked by Saka first 30 minutes. I have to say that was a negative there. Kobbie Mainoo was stand out. I thought Mount was fantastic. I thought Bruno was fantastic. I thought that midfield was absolutely fantastic. Sancho looked really on it, and Garnacho and Antony were all right, but 2-0 win over Arsenal. They say it's a friendly, but Arsenal took this game so serious. Mitrovic is on the verge of going to Saudi Arabia as well. But everybody, thank you for watching today's show. Please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below. See you next time. Thank you for watching, and bye.